大地，想问这哪里？滚有花意。
Desde Shanghai, República Popular China, saludamos a la Superintendencia del Poder de Control del Mercado, quien ha tenido la brillante iniciativa de realizar seminarios que permiten compartir experiencias de diferentes países con el Ecuador. En este caso, Shanghai, quien ha dado albergue a más de 370 multinacionales con sus headquarters en nuestra ciudad y que están operando en China. Queremos presentar al experto en multinacionales, el doctor Ping Kuan Yu, cuya educación formal la realizó en China y en Inglaterra, especializándose en economía y en derecho, en la firma Albright Law Office, quien va a compartir con nosotros unos minutos su experiencia con la charla Multinacionales y Crisis, el caso chino. Dejamos con ustedes al doctor Ping Kuan Yu. Caballeros, bienvenidos a Multinacionales y Crisis, la versión china para la Superintendencia de Control de Poder. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Multinational and Crisis, the China version. We are with Mr. Ping Kuan Yu de la empresa Albright Law Offices, who is going to talk about this issue. Welcome, Mr. Ping.
My pleasure. Okay. So, as you may know, before and after China joining the WTO in 2001, China had experienced rapid economic growth, and the annual GDP growth was as high as 8% for 20 consecutive years. During that period of time, many multinational companies invested into China and achieved great economic success. However, many of them also experienced crises and paid a high price for their mistakes. To review and study the past crises will help our businesses to prevent such disaster crises from happening in the future. While in recent years, the multinational companies in China have experienced more crises than before, as far as I know, it could be contributed to 4 reasons. First, the increasing awareness of self-protection of the Chinese people with better education makes the people come to realize how to protect their legitimate rights by using the law. And second, the formulation and the promulgation of more laws and regulations in China, which enable the Chinese people have solid legal grounds to define their rights, such as the Act on Product Quality Law of the PRC has said, for some product quality with defect, the government may ask the company to recall the products. And also, with the more accidents happened in China, the Chinese government have paid particular attention to the food industry's standard formulation. So with more standard formulation come out, the Chinese people start to pursue their rights to seek for safe and clean food. Also, for the labor law, for example, there are more regulations there to protect the employee's right. In such a case, more labor disputes and also arise between the multinational companies and the Chinese employee. The third, for the crisis happened, is the lack of knowledge and understanding of the Chinese culture and the cultural clashes between the multinational companies and the local Chinese people. The fourth is the ineffective management and ineffective communication, as well as the less sensitive to the crisis. In many occasions, the multinational companies, they failed in appointing the local Chinese people to join their management team. Such the people who in charge may not be sensitive to the crisis at the early stage due to their language barrier and the cultural differences. From our experience and in practice, the crisis happened to the multinational companies, mostly related to the following factors. First, the product quality defect. And in many occasions, the crisis happened because of the product quality problems, in particular in the food industry, pharmaceutical industry, and also the toys and the automobile industries. The second is related to the industrial bribery. For example, in this summer, 2013, a very famous British pharmaceutical company has experienced a big crisis because they are accused of bribing the Chinese doctors to sell their drugs. And it was accused by the Chinese authorities. And it's reported the penalty could be as high as 20 billion RMB. Under such a crisis, the British company said they might retreat from the Chinese market. For the result, it's not come out yet, so let's wait and see. And the third factor is the labor disputes. In recent years, as you may know, the Chinese labor costs has rose up dramatically, especially in the coastal area. So more and more multinational companies have retreated from the coastal area and moved to the central and western area. Talking about the labor disputes, there's another multinational company, it's well known, it's called Foxconn. And in the year of 2010, for 10 months, there were 14 employees of Foxconn committed suicide by jumping from the high-rising building, which caused very, very severe damage on the company's reputation and image. And during that period, every month, there are 50,000 employees choose to leave Foxconn. For some other factors contribute to this crisis, and also including the production accident or some other accident. For example, in this summer, a Korea airline had an accident in Los Angeles, in America. And in this accident, 3 Chinese students were killed. But the thing is, after the accident happened, the Korea airline management team gave a very delayed apology or clarification on this accident. And also, from the Chinese people's point of view, this airline's compensation and apologies are not that kind of acceptable or satisfied. For another factors which have some kind of big influence on multinational companies' crisis is the tax. From January 1st, 2008, the Chinese government passed the new tax law. According to this law, for the Chinese tax authorities is entitled to ask the multinational companies to readjust its tax structure to a required tax rate. In this case, for the multinational companies, many of them, they are keen to do the price transferring by taking advantage of the multinational structures, is a hint. For the above, I have mentioned why in recent years the Chinese multinational companies have experienced so many crises, and also what are the main factors related to the crisis. Mainly, I said, product quality defects, labor disputes, industry bribery, and also for some accidents happened, or for tax issues. That is the problem there. If the crisis happened, we need to learn a lesson from such crisis. And my suggestion for you is the top priority in crisis management is prevention. Prevention is better than litigation. For our Chinese saying is 未雨绸缪, that means bring an umbrella before it's raining. I think this is a good sentence for us to learn. So we need to be prepared for any possible crisis with effective measures. This is the umbrella for us to against any crisis. A good example I think we can learn from another multinational companies is HSBC. Its slogan said HSBC is also World Bank with local wisdom. So I will suggest you to do business in China, to involve some local management members, and to give you some kind of local culture and some kind of local policy. As long as you have an effective management team and to know the local culture, to know the local laws and the local experience, it will be much easier to prevent such crisis from happening. And even if it is happened, you still can get a right way to deal with it. Talking about how to deal with the multinational crisis in China, I can give you another good example. It's IKEA. In the year of 2004, IKEA has experienced a crisis. And during that time, IKEA had to recall a product. It's a children's chair because of the quality defect. And it is a bad thing for the multinational company, IKEA. However, due to IKEA's measures to deal with this crisis, they have achieved a success. And according to the statistics, after this crisis, IKEA's reputation were even better in China because they have shown the Chinese people, as the multinational companies, they have the confidence and the determination to face the crisis. After they know the product defect, they didn't cover the fact, but they actively talk to the consumer and, more importantly, the media. Talk to them what really happened to the product, and they ask all the Chinese consumers to give back all this product with defect without any receipt. As long as you give it back to the local IKEA shop in China, you will get a full refund and some compensation. By doing so, the Chinese media also support and have a close cooperation with IKEA, and to recall all the product with defect come back. In this way, they have prevent this defect product cause even worse situation. So my suggestion is, when such crisis start, the multinational companies better to work with the media closely and provide them with accurate and complete information in a timely manner. In this way, you will get the media's understanding and delivering a favorable report for the crisis which is really important. To some extent, I can say, if a crisis happened, the fact cannot be changed. But I believe the people's attitude to this fact can be changed if you deal it properly, with sincerity, with some kind of generous damages to the victims. And normally, from my experience, for some consumers, they are not really pay attention to the consequence or the damages of the crisis. Rather, they will pay much more attention to the multinational companies' attitude towards this crisis. So I say, as a multinational company doing business in China, I hope you can be an accountable multinational company and positively assume any social accountability in case any crisis occurs. From some experience, I can tell you, in this way, you will be able to minimize your losses and damages and achieve an even better success after the crisis. That is my suggestion for the multinational companies is going to develop your business in China. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Qin. We have two questions for you. One is how the Chinese government, and in terms of the law, avoid when multinational companies have the power to manage the market in China.
I see. This is the question. In China, there is anti-monopoly law. According to this anti-monopoly law, if a multinational company's market share is over a certain percentage, the Chinese competent authority will join in to stop or to interfere any further takeover action carried out by any multinational companies.
Okay, and is there any experience during these years about the authority of the Chinese authority take care about some company who has the power to manage the price of the product, for example, in the market?
It is, for example, in recent years, the Chinese government have paid particular attention to the pharmaceutical industries and to enact some kind of regulations trying to control the prices for the pharmaceutical products, especially for some kind of daily use pharmaceutical goods for the Chinese people.
About the consumers, the Chinese consumers, do they have any differentiation between the Chinese multinational companies and the foreign multinational companies in terms of service, in terms of quality?
I think the Chinese people, they always think for some imported products should be higher quality than the domestic. But I think that is a kind of misunderstanding. And nowadays, I think the Chinese products quality should be equal to the multinational companies' products imported from abroad.
Is there any experience related to the consumers sue the multinational company because quality of the product, and if the Chinese authority managed the product liability?
Yes, it is very often nowadays. I think it's due to the modern technologies has been used, especially for any people who would like to invest into Shanghai or in China. I would like to say, welcome you to come to Shanghai, welcome you to come to China. So I'd like to be your host and to provide you efficient and professional legal services in China. And let's say in Chinese, 欢迎到上海来。Thank you，谢谢。